Hello and welcome to today's video. On today's video I'll be showing you how I made this. So first thing you want to do is to lay out your fabric on folded into four places with an extension for the zip behind. As you can see, that extension. Okay, so once you fold your fabric into four, you would first take your shoulder measurements divided by 2. And that's what I am taking there. So you're taking your shoulder measurement divided by 2. For your shoulder measurements, you'd want to come down by 1 inch for your shoulder slope. Remember, our shoulders are not straight, so that slope is what I'm doing there. And then you go ahead and take your armhole measurement down. So I'm using the ruler so that it will be straight. That's basically the function of that ruler. So now I'm taking the neckline measurement. I'm using the 4x4 neckline, neck depth and width for the front. For the back, it will be about 2 inches deep. And now I'm going ahead to take the horizontal, that's what it's called, right? The horizontal measurement. So that's the bust points, the under bust, the waist measurement, and that's the hip line, and from the shoulder down to the length of the dress. Remember, there is an attachment beneath, so you want to put that into, you want to remember that when you're cutting. So I'm doing the front armhole going in by 1/2 inch, and now I'm basically just taking the bust measurements, transferring the measurements, the vertical. I just keep mixing that up, vertical and horizontal. So yeah, I've taken the measurements and just want to use the person's measurement to cut this. So on the knee part, I'm coming in by 1.5 inches. So yeah, I don't want it to be too tight because there's no slit behind. So 1.5 is enough for me. Just go ahead and cut that out. And yes, if you notice, there's no half length on this material, so I am doing the normal straight darts. So I've inserted the allowance for my darts on the waistline. Alright, so it's not a dartless gown, so just cut. Then you go ahead and turn the lining, and I have done that here, just showing you the back. I've attached my zip, but I have not joined everything together, but this is basically like part of the process. So you turn your lining, cut your lining, and turn everything out, and then you join it together. Moving on to the sleeve. So you can see the sleeve is not fitted, right? So I'm basically going to cut it. The initial sleeve length I took was 17, but I am going to make use of 20 because I want that puff effect at the under at the hem of the sleeve. So yes, I'm going to be using 20. By the way, this fabric you're seeing here is folded into 4, so I am cutting both sleeves at once. Okay, it's not just folded into 2 but 4. So for the top part, since it's going to have the puff effect, I'm going to use a bigger measurement. I'm not going to use like the actual measurement for the person, so I'm using something bigger. So with that big measurement, you basically just cut it like you do with the person's actual measurement, depending on how full you want the puff to be. Once you're done doing that, you want to go ahead and cut it up. This is what it looks like after cutting. So you want to go ahead and notch the top and the bottom part. You'll see why in a couple of minutes. For my clients, this part I'm holding is where the sleeve is supposed to stop, okay? So, and it's going to have a band. So we're cutting the band now. The band measurement is about 10 inches. But you see, I folded 13 inches that's for the seam allowance. So I'm cutting the 2 bands at once. So for both sleeves. So you cut it out and open it up. The band is going to be on fold. So I'm just trimming off that edge. So we're folding this band. I want a band of about 2 inches wide. So I'm going to be cutting it at the 2.5 inches mark so that I would have half an inch as seam allowance. Just like you did with the sleeve, you'd want to notch the top and the bottom part as well. It's going to be on fold, so yeah, you'd need those both points. So now what you want to do is to attach the main sleeve to the band. So you remember those 2 points you notched, the one on the sleeve and the one on the band? Yeah, it comes in handy here. So you're going to gather the sleeve following that notch point so that you will know the middle and some parts will not be uneven, so it won't be uneven. So you just gather it. You gather the sleeve on the band. That's basically what you should do. And then I've gone ahead to do that, and this is how it looks. I have gathered the sleeve on the band, and I've even gone ahead to sew the sleeve short. So this is how it looks. You see that puff effect here? You're supposed to get that if you follow what I've been saying. This is how yours is supposed to look as well. Don't forget to weave your rough edges once you're done so it looks neat, and open up the seams and iron. So moving up to the top, remember that notch on the top part of the sleeve, right? Okay, so that's the middle point of the sleeve. So I am going to be gathering about 4 inches upwards, so gathering it in for that puff effect on the shoulder part. I have done that, and this is how it looks. So I gathered about 4 inches here. Just make sure it aligns to the sleeve measurements. So after doing that, I went ahead to add it to the loop that I've already made. So this is what the sleeve looks like. Again, don't forget to weave so your cloth looks neat, okay? After this, we're going to go ahead and cut out the gathers for the bottom part of the dress. You want to measure out, depending on how long you wanted your gathers to be. I wanted mine to be about 11.5 inches. So I am measuring out 13 inches there because I'm going to add it to the bottom part of my dress, and I am going to fold the hem, right? So I'm going to fold it in. That is why I'm using 13 inches. So this fabric is about 2 inches long. Yeah, but I folded it just so I could get like a straight line. So you want to do your 13 inches mark, and you want to cut 2 of that. You want to cut 2. I use this 2 inches for the front part and the other 2 inches for the back part, okay? So you're cutting 2. It's not one size fits all. So to just depending on how full you want your pleats to be. Actually, you can just do you. So opening it up, you would see how wide it actually is. Yeah, so I'm using just this for the front. I'll do that and see the final look. So I have done all of that. I did the pleats, and this is the end product. Thank you for watching this far. I hope you've learned a thing or two. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.